Hi, welcome to Everbox Guitar Tuition. So my classic album inspection today is Accept's Balls to the Wall. This was released on the 5th of December 1983. It's 40 years old today. It made number 74 in the US charts, and it's their only album to go gold in America. So it's a key album for the band. It actually made number 59 in Germany, and that was the first time they charted in Germany. So this was their fifth album. So prior to this, they did the Accept album. I think it's I'm a Rebel, then Breaker, and then probably their first classic, Restless and Wild. It was a toss-up between whether I look at Restless and Wild last year or this, but I think this is the kind of, the key album. Unusual artwork back to front. The cover concept was by Gabby Hoke, or Gabby Hoffman, Wolf Hoffman's wife. I actually quite like the cover. Obviously, it's very homoerotic. It actually reminds me of Robert Mapplethorpe's photography, the famous photographer. Quite unusual for a heavy metal album, and the album actually flirts a bit with a gay iconography, like with London Leather Boys. It's like about a biker gang, but obviously it could refer to other elements within that culture. Track opens with Balls to the Wall. The first thing you note about this album is how well it's produced. It's engineered and mixed by Michael Wagner. I'm guessing maybe it was recorded at DX's studio, but the guitar sounds absolutely crystal clear. It's really heavy, got loads of punch in it. It's got all the heaviness of something like Screaming for Vengeance. But Wolf Hoffman's a master rhythm player. I'm guessing he tracked all the rhythm guitars on this. Herman Frank didn't. And he's just really tight. He's kind of got that Rudolf Schenker tightness, but there's a brassiness and a fatness to it. And the bass has got a kind of clank but fatness. Drums are punchy, not too over reverbed. I would say it's not too much of an exaggeration to say this is maybe the best sounding metal album up until this point in the history of heavy metal. This is an amazing sounding record. For sort of, keeping something heavy but kind of palatable, commercial. Apparently, a lot of people were influenced by, but Ty Tybor of King's X was a big fan of the sound. So the title track's obviously Balls to the Wall, the Berlin Wall. It's still West and East Germany then. Family's 45. I remember seeing Accept on the Russian Roulette tour with Doc at the Manchester Apollo on this album. And when they played Balls to the Wall, I always remember the bridge of this track, the way it changes key and it's got those epic chords. Really cool. Great track. Then you got London Leather Boys, really funny title, great riff on this, dun 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 dun, it's got a straight beat and then it's bouncing over the top. 3 minutes 57. It's a really catchy track, and kind of fits in with the iconography of the album cover. I think Udo's singing is interesting. Udo's he kind of reminds me of the band Trust, the French band, like 1970, 1980s. Is it Bernard Bossoir? I can't remember. He was like a kind of almost a punk type of singer. Some people say like Paul Di'Anno was like that, but Rush kind of had a Michael Schenker type of guitar player, so they had a heavy metal, hard rock sound, but with this different vocal style. And Udo's like that. He does a lot of metal screaming. He's got a lot of power. He's actually got a lot of range in his voice, but he doesn't have a melodic voice. He doesn't have a melodious tone, and they're in that weird thing, except where that could be Marmite to some people. Udo's what makes them unique. He what makes them Accept, but he's also kind of a hindrance in respect that Accept will only go so far. And I think they sold 30 million albums, done very well. When they tried to change singer the first time we got David Reese, it just made them sound like any other band like that. And it's only recently when they got Mark Torino in that they found like someone who's, although not like Udo's, got that kind of tonality, but the kind of more Brian Johnson thing that enables them to sound like Accept, but have a different sort of sonic palette that other people might appeal to other people. I've certainly liked the new Accept stuff. Next, you got Fight It Back, from 30. Really good, more up-tempo tracks. Some Accept do really well. Obviously, Fast as the Sharks, classic example of that. And then you got Head Over Heels. So this is got a really catchy chorus on it. Got a classic slow gallop riff, 419. I think Wolf Hoffman's playing's great on this album. It's very melodic. These days, he's still good. He tends to have his vibrato a bit thin. He's a bit fatter here on his tone. I think the solos are better crafted and really fit the song well. Last track on side one, Losing More Than You Ever Had, Family's 4. again, this is the band really going for a commercial sound, and Udo really does a good effort of like harmony vocals in the chorus, and the chorus is pretty cool. It's quite long, and it kind of has kind of two kind of elements to it. But I really like this track. I think I've got not a criticism on side. The album's 45 minutes 13, so it's quite long. I mean, 10 tracks for an album at that time. You may have expected it to be a bit shorter. But there's a consistency in the sound. Like I say, it's kind of it's big, but not stupidly big. And like, 1983, it's a bit of a purple patch into 1984 and 82. That era is when metal albums sound really good. The technology gets to where metal can sound heavy, but it's not kind of before that time where everyone wants to sound like Pyromania and have big drums and get too bombastic. Everything still sounds natural. 93 Holy Divers, like that. Scream for Vengeance a year before, Assault Attack, MSG. Some great sounding records around this time. So track side 2 opens track 6, Love Child. It's probably the weakest track on the album. 3 minutes 35, but it's quite catchy. And then track 7 is my favourite track, Turn Me On. I think this is where the production, if you want to hear how good this album sounds, just put on the track Turn Me On. It just starts off with an E to F sharp, down, really meaty, and then he hits an E5. I don't know if he's using a DG and B string or he was playing it up the fretboard.